Did you know that this particular Doctor Who serial, or rather the titular species, the Silurians, inspired a cute, fun, scientific hypothesis? Let me tell you all about, if you're not already aware of, and even if you are aware, may as well just listen to it again if you're so inclined, the Silurian hypothesis. From the Free Encyclopedia, the Silurian hypothesis is a thought experiment, rather than hypothesis, I suppose, which assesses modern science's ability to detect evidence of a prior advanced civilization, perhaps several million years ago. The most probable cues for such a civilization could be carbon, radioactive elements, or temperature variation. The name Silurian derives from the eponymous sapient species from the BBC science fiction series Doctor Who in this series established an advanced civilization prior to humanity, not from the eponymous geological era. Astrophysicists Adam Frank and Gavin Schmidt proposed the Silurian hypothesis in a 2018 paper, exploring the possibility of detecting an advanced civilization before humans in the geological record. They argued that there has been sufficient fossil carbon to fuel an industrial civilization since the Carboniferous period, 350 million years ago. However, finding direct evidence such as technological artifacts is unlikely due to the rarity of fossilization and Earth's exposed surface. Instead, researchers might find indirect evidence such as climate changes, anomalies in sediment, or traces of nuclear waste. The hypothesis also speculates that artifacts from past civilizations can be found on the Moon and Mars, where erosion and tectonic activity are less likely to erase evidence. The concept of pre-human civilizations has been explored in popular culture, including novels, television shows, and short stories. The idea is presented in a 2018 paper by Adam Frank, an astrophysicist at the University of Rochester, and Gavin Schmidt, director of the Goddard Institute for Space Studies. Frank and Schmidt imagined an advanced civilization before humans and pondered whether it would be possible to detect an industrial civilization in the geological record. They argue as early as the Carboniferous period, 350 million years ago, there has been sufficient fossil carbon to fuel an industrial civilization comparable with our own. However, they also wrote, while we strongly doubt that any previous industrial civilization existed before our own, asking the question in a formal way that articulates explicitly what evidence for such a civilization might look like raises its own useful questions related both to astrobiology and to Anthropocene studies. The term Silurian hypothesis was inspired by the fictional species called the Silurians from the British television series Doctor Who. According to Frank and Schmidt, since fossilization is relatively rare and little of Earth's exposed surface is from before the Quaternary time period, 2.5 million years ago, there is low probability of finding direct evidence of such a civilization, such as technological artifacts. After a great time span, the researchers concluded contemporary humans would be more likely to find indirect evidence such as rapid changes in temperature or climate, as occurred during the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum 55 million years ago, evidence of tapping geothermal power sources, or anomalies in sediment such as their chemical composition, e.g., evidence of artificial fertilizers or isotope ratios, e.g., there is no naturally occurring plutonium-244 outside a supernova, so evidence of this isotope could indicate a technologically advanced civilization. Objects that could indicate possible evidence of past civilizations include plastics and nuclear wastes residues buried deep underground or on the ocean floor. Frank and Schmidt speculate such a civilization could have gone to space and left artifacts on other celestial bodies such as the Moon and Mars. Evidence for artifacts on these two worlds would be easy to find than on Earth, whose erosion and tectonic activity would erase much of it. Frank first approached Schmidt to discuss how to detect alien civilizations via their potential impact upon climate through the study of ice cores and tree rings. They both realized that the hypothesis could be expanded and applied to Earth and humanity due to the fact that humans have been in their current form for the past 300,000 years and have had sophisticated technology for only the last few centuries. Frank and Schmidt cite Inherit the Stars, a 1977 novel by J.P. Hogan, as containing a similar hypothesis, but also say they were surprised by how rarely the concept was explored in science fiction. The Silurians on Doctor Who are a race of reptilian humanoids from Earth's past. In Isaac Asimov's Big Game, written in 1941 and published in 1974, and Day of the Hunters 1950, the extinction of the dinosaurs was caused by an intelligent race of humanoid dinosaurs. In Asimov's No Connection 1948, a non-human scientist of a future civilization tries to prove the existence of an ancient primate civilization on Earth. Andre Norton's The Time Traders 1958 and later books in the series discussed the idea that most physical evidence of ancient advanced civilizations on Earth could be removed in mere millennia by glaciers, volcanic eruptions, and natural decay. The Star Trek Voyager episode Distant Origin has the crew encounter the Voth, a spacefaring race that appeared to have evolved on Earth from dinosaurs. When discussing this theory of evolved scientist, Chakotay speculates that their ancestors evolved on an isolated continent that was destroyed by cataclysm, full traces buried under oceans or kilometers of rock. The idea of pre-human civilizations is explored in the H.P. Lovecraft novel At the Shadow Out of Time and his short novel At the Mountains of Madness. In Larry Niven's short story The Green Marauder, an alien over 700 million years old, due to relativistic travel, tells a human about the last time it visited Earth and the hopeless plea from Earth's anaerobic civilization to help against the growing environmental threat of chlorophyll. And I think we shall close it here now. Thanks again, everyone. I appreciate it very, very immensely.